Superstitions, evil spirits and poltergeists await the most haunted team as we cross the border to Wales.
And this week I've brought the team to a remote location in the Welsh Hills, a place where ghosts are said to lurk in every corner. Welcome to Most Haunted and Plasa Act.
It is suggested that the original building, of which the main dining room and truss bedroom above are the only remaining evidence of an ancient Welsh hall dating from before the 1500s. Its name translates from the Welsh as the house on the black hillside, which locals claim has little to do with the colour of the rock from the surrounding region, but more for the evil spirits that haunt the area. Markings that are visible around the house are said to have been put there by fervent Catholics to ward off evil and to keep malevolent spirits out of the house. During the English Civil War, the house became headquarters for the parliamentary forces besieging Harlech Castle. The local belief is that Cromwell stayed here during the campaign. Graffiti carved into the wooden walls of the cellar is supposed to be the work of prisoners taken by the Roundheads during this period. Over time, the house gained a reputation as a place to avoid after dark. The occupants had turned to cattle rustling to make a living and did not take kindly to anyone appearing unannounced. It gradually fell into ruin until its restoration by Colonel Campbell in the early 1960s. Lacking a road to the house, Campbell blasted a route through the valley below and installed his own platform, track and locomotive as transportation to and from the house. The line and train are still in use with the Festiniog Railway. Given the strange history of the house and local rumour of evil spirits, it's no wonder the Most Haunted team felt compelled to investigate.
In a place where death and imprisonment were once commonplace, what lies in store for us tonight? We have 24 hours to find out. The four-poster bedroom is indeed a very scary place to be, especially at night. It's thought that a particularly nasty entity doesn't like people being on the bed, as it has physically attacked sleeping guests, pulling them from their slumber and throwing them to the floor. Others have been awoken by sickening screams, which seem to penetrate the very fabric of the building. Whatever makes these terrifying sounds then tries to enter the room. The lock is slowly taken off the latch and the door opens all by itself, followed by the sudden strong smell of freesias, which also unexplainably appears in other secluded parts of the house. This is Cromwell's room, so named as it's thought to be the room that Cromwell slept in during the siege of Harlech Castle. Now, people staying in this room have been plagued by lights going on and off on their own accord. The room was rewired, but the problem still persisted, and the current family were forced to remove all the light bulbs to put an end to the nuisance. But that is no good for us, so we have replaced them. This cellar was once a prison to captured royalist soldiers during the Civil War. They were kept in damp, cold and miserable conditions, some dying, some waiting for execution. The captives carved images which is still visible today, along with their spirits that return with stark regularity to haunt this area. Most who enter feel a strong presence around them, as though they're being watched. Many people have witnessed dark shadows and mists all over this place, believed to be the lost souls of the pitiful dead that roam this dark, damp cellar.
What more had historian Leslie Smith gleaned about the house from her researchers?
The core of the house is an ancient Welsh hall house constructed before 1500. And behind us, the most fantastic Druid woods leading down into the mists on these great high hills. It's the most dramatic place in a fantastic area. And linked with this house is one of the greatest names in Welsh history, Llywelyn the Great, and the Lloyd family that followed him and lived here in this house for 400 years. One thing's for sure, you take one look at this extraordinary house and you'll understand why people look at it with wonder. Every single room is packed with extraordinary Welsh history, and every doorway will open onto a new story of this extraordinary house on the hillside, the Black Hillside.
Given the incredible setting of the house and the stories connected with it, I was interested to know how parapsychologist Dr. Kieran O'Keefe would approach the coming investigation.
Well, here we are, Kieran, in the beautiful Welsh countryside, and we're very much on our own, aren't we?
It is, yeah, very remote. It may play havoc with the way people are going to investigate tonight, but it's just fantastic, fantastic view.
Now, there are three main areas to the house that we're going to investigate tonight, but for me the four-poster bedroom is quite intriguing because apparently there's supposed to be a malevolent entity in there, isn't there?
Yes, for me, I think the four-poster bedroom is interesting from a phenomena point of view because I think we're dealing with sleep-related phenomena. So the most impressive accounts are to do with people that have actually stayed in the room and been woken up with a jolt or have heard screams or bizarre things elsewhere in the house.
And then we've got Cromwell's room, which of course the lights switching on and off, which I find absolutely fascinating considering that, you know, the present family had the electrics all sorted, and apparently it's still can happen, so it's very strange.
It is very strange, and also having had a look at the room and seeing how you can actually switch the lights on and off, they're cords and they make a very loud click sound. So it's not an accidental thing. It's not like you could be standing in a room or, for instance, later on in the investigation, somebody actually knock a light switch. It's a very definite move. And that for me is fascinating, so I'm hoping it happens tonight.
Now this location is quite small, so I suppose we've got to be very, very careful how we conduct the vigils this evening because of sound.
Yeah, the team has already realised that if some of you are down in the cellar, you can hear noises very clearly elsewhere in the house. You can hear people talking. If people are in this room, for example, you can hear them walking around. So the suggestion is that if a vigil is conducted inside the house, that it's only one vigil at a time.
Impatient to unlock the secrets held by this strange house, the team were ready to begin our investigation. Joined by guest medium Barry John, we began with a lit walk-around to try and gauge what lay in wait for us in the coming hours of darkness. The Most Haunted team are investigating Plasa Act, an intriguing house set in the hills of North Wales and allegedly a hive of strange and unexplained activity. Joined by guest medium Barry John, we begin our lit walk-around in the downstairs sitting room to try and get a feel of what this building may hold in store over the coming hours.
Right. This to me is a very exciting location because it's not the usual stately home or the castle or the pub. It's something different. We're in the middle of nowhere, and I am very eager to see what you're going to get.
It seems to hold so many memories as you walk through the door, and it's funny because as you walk in, it doesn't feel natural, but yet it feels very homely and welcoming. And the first thing that I was aware of when I walked through the door, Yvette, was these very perfectly lined boots as we walked through the door, as though there was military boots, being honest with you.
What, you mean boots lined up or marching or walking?
No, boots lined up.
Oh, right,
literally
okay.
As though somebody had walked in, took them off and lined them up around the side of where we'd walked in, you know, around the, heading down towards the cellar for some reason. the foreign accent that I get with this, whether it's Belgium or Germany, I know it's somewhere on the European coastline as we're talking at the moment, or as they're talking to me at the same time. And they talk to me about as though, you know when I walked through the door there, I wanted to stop, as though I had to wait to be admitted entrance, first of all, before I could come into this room, is the only way I can say that.